This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, July 16th, 2026. I'm Abriana Herron. Valparaiso-based HealthLinc and Heart City Health in Elkhart have announced plans to merge, creating a larger community health center that leaders say will expand access to care across Elkhart County. Pending regulatory approval this fall, the merger will create an organization operating 18 clinics in 9 northern Indiana communities under the HealthLinc name. The combined organization will serve more than 73,400 patients annually. HealthLinc CEO Melissa Mitchell told Inside Indiana Business that the merger will expand access to patient care and resources.
This is a good opportunity for both organizations to come together to be stronger into the next year.
HealthLinc officials said patient care will continue without interruption. Existing appointments, providers, and services will remain in place while the organizations complete the merger process. Indiana University is investing $7 million to bolster workforce development, talent retention, and infrastructure related to the creative economy in the Indiana Uplands region. The university said Thursday that the Uplands Region Creative Economy Commons initiative is designed to help artists, entrepreneurs, and creative professionals in the 11-county region build careers. The investment includes a $3 million Ready 2.0 Arts and Culture Initiative grant and more than $4 million in matching and in-kind support. The goal of the effort, IU said, is to create professional pathways for artists and creative entrepreneurs, expand access to business development resources, and provide the infrastructure for creative professionals to stay in the region. The labor dispute between BP and the United Steelworkers Union continues to drag on as more local officials call for an end to a 4-month lockout of more than 800 workers at the oil giant's Whiting Refinery. The two sides have not met since June 16th and are accusing each other of failing to negotiate in good faith. The company and union have been at odds over a new collective bargaining agreement since January. The previous union contract expired on January 31st, and the company imposed a lockout of union workers in March. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
Kate's Kitchen brings flavors and traditions of Africa to Michiana, offering dishes inspired by countries across the continent. Founded by Kate Joyo, a native of Malawi, the restaurant aims to give customers a culinary journey through Africa with food from West, East, Southern, and Northern Africa. Joyo says the culinary business started inside her own home.
And everybody who comes in, they were like, no, you need to open up a place. There's no way you can just be cooking for us. I think this food, people need to experience it.
Joyo hopes to expand her business to other places outside of Michiana and have multiple locations across the U.S. Eli Lilly and Company announced Thursday that it will spend up to $3.8 billion to acquire New York-based AtaiBeckley Incorporated, which is focused on developing psychedelic treatments for depression and other mental health conditions. The deal comes about 3 months after President Donald Trump signed an executive order directing the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and other federal agencies to speed research and loosen restrictions on psychedelic drug treatment for mental health conditions. The deal is yet another in a line of acquisitions as Indianapolis-based Lilly looks to diversify its portfolio beyond its blockbuster weight loss and diabetes medications, Zepbound and Mounjaro. And Greater Lafayette Commerce is using a $40,000 state grant to launch a program aimed at preparing a new generation of owners to acquire and lead established businesses throughout the region. The Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition, or ETA initiative, aims to help raise awareness about businesses that are owned by people who might be looking to retire or make a change. CEO Michael Berger told Inside Indiana Business that most entrepreneurs focus on starting a business and may not be aware of the option to acquire an existing one, which could lead to vital small businesses closing for good.
There are a lot of businesses all over the state, but especially in Greater Lafayette, that are owned by somebody that might be looking to retire or just make a change. But when we lose those businesses in our community, it often isn't newsworthy. It's a few number of jobs. You can't cover every story, right? But it has a very real impact on our community when we lose those jobs and we lose the business, those businesses.
The ETA initiative will offer a series of workshops and matchmaking events for prospective buyers, as well as an exit planning framework for owners looking to sell their businesses. Berger said the goal is to create a cohort that lasts about 12 to 14 weeks. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.